All right, let's call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Motion by Councilmember Henry, seconded by Councilmember Johnson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have any resident?
Hey, wait. Were we supposed to remove 9-1? Or
Oh, yeah.
will you rescind
Well,
your
from the
motion?
consent agenda.
No.
No.
Oh,
Glenn, would
I
you be
didn't-
willing
Sorry.
to,
That's underneath there. Sorry.
Highlighted.
Would I like to
Mine was underneath.
amend my approval of the agenda minus 9.1 off the agenda?
to amend it by removing 9.1?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, what she said.
of the TIF agreement with Trident.
Larry, is that good? Thank you. All right, there's a motion, there's an amended motion by Councilmember Henry. Is the second amended as well, Councilmember Johnson?
Yes, I'll second.
All right, now all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 9-1 is now off. We're on to resident comments and questions for anything not on the agenda. Sensing no residents. We're moving on to presentations and report. Nickel, Mr. Mason, you're retired. Stay there. I'm coming to you. We want to say thank you. 10 years.
Oh, let's just round it.
Nearly a decade.
Nearly a decade.
Nick, you have a nickname at my coffee shop. It's the reporter guy. So every time Nick would come in and want to ask me questions, he would call, and I would purposely not answer his phone call, which I'm sure you all have done. I know all of you have done. And Nick was, and still is, extremely incessant, and I knew he'd be there. He'd stop by the coffee shop. I would come back from lunch, and the girls would say, the reporter guy was here. And I'd hear, I'm right here, Mr. Webb. And he'd be sitting over having a cup of coffee. And we would sit down, and he would have exactly 2 questions for me, and an hour and a half later, after talking about Buffalo, Florida, and some of the in-depth stories that Nick has written in the past, I got an earful. Nick, over the course of 10 years, you've become my friend. I enjoy our conversations. Had no idea that you really overmarried. But when you 2 walked in, I thought that was your daughter, and I still am not sure I believe that it's not. I do want to say thank you for everything that you've done for the city. You've partnered with us in many ways. I do have to tell you that the articles and the constant coverage that you gave on affordable housing in Carver Crossings was some of not only the best writing I've ever seen, but hands down the best reporting on something that was extremely controversial and hard to understand that I've ever seen in my 20 years on this council. I've only had 2 beefs with you, so I'm going to bring them up now. They were relatively in depth, but the reality is that none of them were your fault. Because your writing, I always had no issues with. You were very fair. You were to the point. You were extremely, dare I say, exhaustive on some of the things that I didn't want you to write about. But where I always took a ton of issue with were the headlines you came up with. The headlines were always inflammatory and all start problems with neighboring communities. And I used to say to you all the time, Nick, what the hell are you trying to start? But that was actually Mark Olson. The editor writes the headlines, so I have absolutely no more beefs with you. But I do want to say thank you for everything. I want to present you a key to the city, which is not.
I think we should go down and take a picture with him.
There is a This is actually get on one side of them, I get the other, and I'm gonna try not to lock into the other. Oh yeah, fix your hair. Hey, just hold her hand, no second face on your hand.
I'm gonna scoop you, Mark.
With our own recorder too. Okay, hold on. 1, 2.
Nickel, we're really proud to call you our friend and be a member of our family. You got it. This is great. Thank you. Embrace me. I'll be singing to you in a little bit.
Politicians need it. That's our song.
Well, I normally don't say anything, but I'm gonna say one thing. You know what I'm gonna say.
Will you marry me?
Of course I will.
No, let me finish. Yes, it's your turn, Nick. So, I have known Nick through all his stories, all the presidents he's covered, all the elections he's covered, all the great stories he's covered. And I've never heard the reverence, the love, and more importantly, the respect that he has for you as a group of working individuals. And it's true. So you should know what a special place you all hold in his heart. Thank you very much.
Here's the mayor of Florida. Where in Florida?
Which one?
Well, I'll give up my seat for you guys.
Wayne Poston?
Yes, Wayne Poston. Oh. Yeah. I hear a story.
And Mark, that includes you when I said that. As a team. Yes. When I say that. We all sit down.
Quick story.
Not as bad as ours.
Thank you, Nicole. Bring it in, Beth. Bring it in. We're gonna give a round of applause. All right. It's online right now.
Everything in Carver.
That unlocks everything in Carver. Brent's office. It actually gets you right into the right onto Monroe Drive.
And
on the web womb.
The web womb?
The web
The
womb
web
will be
womb.
key.
The web womb. That'll get you into the web womb.
Yeah, take care,
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nico. Anna, nice to finally meet you. And for the record, everybody on camera, we actually have known Nick 10 years, and this is the first time that we've gotten an opportunity to meet his lovely bride daughter. And we were not always exactly sure that she existed, but she does. So, Nick,
All right,
Nick,
happy Thanksgiving.
Nick, we haven't always agreed, but we certainly agree on that. You as well, Nick.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nick.
All right, moving on to public hearings. 6.1, delinquent utility certifications. I got it. To county. Vicki Sanz-Eiden.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. City staff has worked throughout the year to collect unpaid charges for delinquent utilities and municipal fees, but despite these efforts, there were still certain charges that remain unpaid. As a result, the City Council did on October 15th of this year set the public hearing for the assessment of delinquent utilities for this evening. Therefore, if this certification roll is adopted by the City Council at this meeting tonight, the proposed assessments would be certified to the Carver County Auditor. These assessments shall be payable for a period of 1 year and are certified to Carver County for certification with the 2019 property taxes. The rate of interest is 5%, and in addition to that, there is a $25 administration charge for each utility account. And I also want to call to your attention in regard to the assessment roll that was in your packet this evening, that is an attachment to the resolution for your consideration this evening. We did have one account that was paid, and unfortunately the totals on that assessment roll did not get updated to reflect that. However, the individual amounts that are certified to each of those 3 accounts on the assessment roll are correct. So I would be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Sanz-Eiden? Then I would open the public hearing, and those wishing to address the City Council should come forward. State your name and address for the record. After all the comments are received, the public hearings will be closed. No further comments on this issue will be received at this meeting after the public meeting is closed. So, that being said, I'm sensing that we don't have any public comments.
Maybe leave it open and move on.
Sure,
in
if
case
you want to.
somebody comes.
Deal. Then we'll move on to, we'll leave that open and I'll get back to it. I have to make a note. I got one. So let's move on to the consent agenda.
I would like to make a motion approving the consent agenda, removing item 7.6.
There's a
second.
motion by Councilmember Mock, seconded by, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, sorry.
Seconded by Councilmember Monroe. All in favor say aye. Aye. So let's go back to 7.6.
When I was reading through item 7.6, the resolution calling for the public hearing for the 2019 infrastructure improvements, there were references to Lime Street, which is no longer in existence, and they need to be modified to say Mount Hope Road.
Is that a motion?
And I'd like to make a motion to have those changes made.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Mock, seconded by Councilmember Monroe. Any further discussion? Does that suffice? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have no unfinished business. We have 9.1 has been removed, so let's move on to 9.2 and our impending city council vacancy. Mr. Merrick.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just to back up on 9.1, the reason for that, we're moving that to the December 3rd council meeting so it can run concurrently with the land use considerations you're giving to that project. We thought it would be a better public process to include the tax increment consideration and the land use application at the same meeting. So that's the purpose for the delay with the TIF agreement. Moving on to 9.2. So with the election of Mayor-elect Courtney Johnson, an impending vacancy would be created for the remainder of her term, which runs through January 4th of 2021. The city encountered an identical set of circumstances when Mayor Mike Webb was elected in 2014. In January of 2015, the city interviewed 7 candidates for Mayor Webb's vacant city council position. I get into a little bit of the history in my memo. Ultimately, Mayor Webb appointed Jim Wagon to serve the remainder of his term. The proposed schedule that we have for you follows kind of the same, roughly the same schedule that we used to fill Mayor Webb's council position. So pending the council's declaration of the impending vacancy, we'd start advertising for a letter of intent tomorrow with the website, social media accounts, and in the monthly newsletter. Letters of interest would be due to the city by December 21st. The council, starting in January of 2019 at a special meeting on the 15th, would conduct interviews, and at that same meeting, appoint an individual to serve the remainder of that city council term, or Mayor-elect Johnson's council term, and then that newly elected or appointed official would take their official oath of office on the 22nd, which follows the holiday on the 21st. One of the pieces, and you can see it more detailed in the city attorney's memo to the council, should there be, because there'll be 4, in effect, members of the council at the time of the interview, should there not be a majority vote on any prospective candidate, the mayor can appoint, and it does not need to be someone who provided a letter of interest in the initial kind of round of candidates. So I defer to any questions on specific details of the process to the city attorney. We also provided a draft of the solicitation for letters of interest for the position. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
I just want to say thanks for doing that, just so that it's upfront and more transparent. Not that it wasn't. The more we put that out there, the more we understand the process, I think the better. Any other comments, questions?
No, just to make sure that the timing is correct, because there were some like time limits if it was less than 2 years.
Yes, this is it's the same situation we had when Mayor Webb was elected, and if you go, it's set forth in my memo, you make it by about 3 days, so there does not have to be a special election. The term's like 3 days less than 2 years, so you appoint and that person serves the remainder of Mayor-elect Johnson's council seat.
Okay, great.
Grant, you said that there's the interview process that we put people through, and if there's a 2-2 vote, the mayor can choose the mayor can choose the council person, correct?
That is correct.
And you also said it could be anybody,
Correct.
even somebody that wasn't in the interview process?
They'd have to be eligible to serve in the position, which the city attorney outlines in his memo.
The one thing I do want to point out to the 3 council members who will still be here, this is always a tough issue politically when you have to fill it out, and because of candidly, the power that the mayor wields in a tie vote, this is really an opportunity where there's a big temptation to talk amongst yourselves. Be careful.
Don't do it.
Yep.
No open meeting violations. It all gets settled here. You can be really, really careful about that.
So I just had a question about the qualifications, that you have to be at least 21. Why is that not 18? In the vacancy announcement for the term.
Well, to be president, you have to be 35.
That's a really good question.
Okay.
Do you know a lot of really great 19-year-olds
Well,
that are
I'm
going to
just,
apply for it?
no, but
Just something to throw
I'm-
out there?
21.
don't you wonder?
No.
Is there, is it a law or a
Is it a
statute
statutory
or?
thing?
We'll check. If it's 18, it's going to get revised to 18.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I love you guys.
Thank you for bringing that up, Courtney.
For getting in the weeds on that.
Oh, dear Lord. God, we have no idea who we're going to point, but they could be an 18-year-old. All right, are we good there?
It's 21.
Yeah,
There you go.
okay. Can we
Okay.
discuss on this afterwards, maybe?
We could circle back.
We'll circle back and talk offline. Outstanding. All right,
Can I make a motion then?
please do.
I'll make a motion to declare an impending vacancy on the Carver City Council and accept letters of interest for the position through December 21st, 2018.
There's a motion by Councilmember Monroe,
I will second that.
seconded by Councilmember Henry. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's go back to, we have obviously not had any public comments. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Monroe, seconded by Councilmember Hank. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. I
Make
would
a
entertain.
motion to adopt Resolution 168-18, adopting and certifying liens of delinquent utilities and municipal fees.
There's a motion by Councilmember Monroe,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilmember Johnson. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to communications. Monroe.
I don't have anything city-wise. I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, have fun.
All right, Johnson.
We've had 2 planning commission meetings the last 2 Thursday nights. The planning commission is once again hitting it out of the park and getting stuff done. There were 4 public hearings at the last 5 public hearings.
Earning the
which is
money this
wow.
year.
maybe a personal record for everybody on there. And then happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Mock.
I did want to mention that the Carver gazebo tree lighting ceremony is Saturday, November 24th, and that is, it starts at 4 o'clock and it goes, and then the tree lighting is at 5. I know there will be horse-drawn carriage rides downtown. The art studio here is going to have free ornament making for kids, and then head on over to Gazebo Park for the tree lighting at 5. I'm going to say one other thing. Carver Village Christmas is going to be happening on December 1st at noon, and that'll be at the Carver Fire Station, all hosted by the Carver Lions Club.
There'd be a plaque on there?
I would imagine, yes.
Oh, sweet. Hank.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, boy. Merrick. Sons Iden. Smith. Engineer guy. New guy.
Say something.
Anything you want to add? It's you got are you a deer hunter? Or is it Movember? Got any?
He always looks like that.
Got any Cheetos in there? All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Mark, congratulations, and well done with editing Nick. But we got to work on your headlines. Okay. I mean, I want that on the. Yeah.
Want that on the record.
We'll talk over a cup of coffee.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Monroe, seconded by Councilmember Hank. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.